ramen looks like once you digest it. Day 3, and it has been pouring rain. I can hear it because this is not very thick. You can hear that? But I don't think it's raining anymore. I don't hear it. It's a little condensation-y. Is that a word? Condensation-y on the window there. It's time to get up. We're a little tight in here on the top bunk. Of which I was just reminded that I actually built. Or I built the frames to hold the mattresses. I don't know if I put that in a vlog or not. I might have. That would have been back in like 2020 or something like that. Probably Renee knows. Alright, so since today is a rainy day, I actually don't know what we're going to be doing work-wise. It rains here all the time, so I imagine that it's not going to stop us from doing what needs to get done. Last night after we got a bite of ramen, we ended up painting a little more in the interior of the chow hut. So maybe we'll continue that to finish it up today. Wait, is it from the rain or is it from the pump?
The pump? Oh. Oh, it is from the pump.
From the pump.
Okay.
Well, it would appear that our jimmy rigging did not take. We have some issues.
Oh man, that's 1 inch. So I gotta go 1 1/4 down to 1.
Because that is not the same, even though it's the same freaking pump.
And then I would need a 3/4 inch pipe nipple.
Pipe nipple.
Unfortunately, due to a inferior or faulty water letting application, our original pump for the chow and shower shack has been destroyed over the winter months. Luckily, we had a spare to replace it with, which was the same off-the-shelf unit, but unfortunately, it must be a new generation that has gone through some changes, maybe to make it better. Who knows why, but it is not exactly the same as our original pump. And so we had to raid the parts bin to make do. Unfortunately, making do with what we had didn't work exactly. We're in the middle of nowhere, so it's not exactly easy to just hit up the hardware store to make sure that you can make everything work perfect. And that has been our downfall over the evening and night. We have sprung a little leak. So Ken is going to try to jimmy rig a little bit of a repair here, and hopefully it will continue working. We have running water, but it's glacial, so it's freezing. So it'd be nice to have the water pump working so that we can put that through the heater and have nice warm showers and hot water for dishes and such. And so painting will have to wait until the cabin is dry, but so I'm not wasting time, I'm going to prepare the roofing. And hopefully Ken comes up with a solution for the water pump not leaking everywhere.
Are you hungry?
Welcome back to the Unfinished Kitchen. I'm Josh, and today we're making something to eat.
You're welcome. I didn't put salt on anything, just pepper. There we go, that's breakfast. Oh, we didn't have breakfast yesterday.
Now that breakfast is done, and it doesn't look like it's gonna rain immediately, I think we are going to do the roof because it's been a tarp for its whole life, and as you can see, it tatters up. So we're gonna replace the silver tarp with some silver corrugated, I hope they're long enough, but steel panels, or what are these? Galvanized, probably steel. I'm going to be honest about this little building here. It is not the best built in the world. Nothing's flat, nothing is square, nothing is plumb, nothing is level. It's one of those prefab, slapped together little jobs that could have used a little more attention to detail. However, it works. I forgot about this. Meditating on the roof, waiting for some tools. Ken is grabbing from the tool can. Anyway, this was also left out in the weather its whole life before my brothers bought it off a guy. They just needed something quick and dirty, and they got something quick and dirty. Something that worked, something that was convenient. However, every time that they've come out here, the priority has been to find gold. And so the cabin has gotten a little worse over time. And so luckily this year, my first year out here, the priority was check off a chore list. One of those things being a little facelift to the cabin and some roofing. Hopefully we get to do a little bit of gold, but that'll come after. This is where my phone died. Luckily I got the whole time lapse though. Okay, that's good. It recorded everything. It died as I picked up the phone, but I didn't see that the phone died. I just saw that it was dead. But now I just reviewed the footage. I pick up the phone, full time lapse captured. Doesn't that look so cool as the clouds move across the sky? Oh, I'm so glad that shot worked, because if it didn't work, well, I don't know what else is interesting about what we're doing today. That's not very interesting in itself, but the shot looks freaking cool. Yeah, we woke up late because we worked late last night because we did some more work here in the cabin. Mainly painting, only painting, the little water pump maintenance, but mostly painting there. Takes forever without a sprayer, but we'll get her done. The roof is done, so that's good. It didn't rain once while we were up there. So, yeah, just trying to figure out the way that that roof cleated together. And then we were off to the races. Bada bing, Bob's your uncle after, I don't know how long that took. Like, too long. Took like 4 hours. Too long. So we got started at like noon, and what time is it now? We're looking up at the sky. Can we tell? Yeah, we're about 4:30. Yeah, so I'd say it took about 4 hours. If we got started around noon 30, something like that. I don't know exactly. I guess we were still eating at noon. So 4 hours. That took a while, but we got it done. Okay, I'm gonna leave you sit here in charge. I guess I don't know what we're doing. I got kind of a headache from the fumes because Phil is doing some welding, and there's no electric out here without generator, so his welder is one of those portable diesel welders. It's not good, but I think I'm fine. I got the phone charged up while we were charging, did some more painting, did a little bit of maintenance here and there, and folded up the old tarps from the roof, and now we've come down to the gross pond, I guess you could call it, and we were just doing some rock hounding in here. I had an idea.
Check this out.
Whoa! That is sick! Look at that, guys. That's awesome. So that's a keeper. I'm specifically looking for things to make things with. So I guess you would call it art supplies, natural art supplies, unprocessed art supplies. I was thinking about making, like, for example, if I pick up a rock here, let's see here, let's see if I can find a good one. If this was a little bit bigger, because I like what that looks like. It's not super special, but it's still pretty cool. So if this was large, or I could even do a little one, I would put one of my bonsai trees, you know, kind of straddling it, if you will. Like, imagine my hands are the roots, right? Like that, and then you could see the natural beauty of the rock, and then my as organic as I can make the texture of the tree that I'd put on there. So let's see if I can't find one or two good rocks to haul back home. The pond here, by the way, is because there's melt off and such, and then it just has nowhere to go because, as you know, this is a mining facility, so it's not exactly pretty everywhere. But if you look at the landscape, man, with all the colors and such, it looks quite nice. I mean, I'm in a hole, so it's kind of hard to see at the moment.
Well, you see what's growing back, like right away. The plants grow back. This is all very disturbed. It was all dug up and moved around, and right away everything's growing again.
This looks like it's rusty.
Some more rusty ones over here. That's a new one right there.
Yeah, it is. I wish we could find like a good one.
Some quartz. What do you mean a good one?
Like a big one.
A big chunk of quartz?
A big chunk of anything that looks, you know.
Okay, well, let's just keep looking around. There's a lot of rocks here.
Oh, even this.
Yeah.
This might be a keeper, right? Especially if it has a flat spot, so that I could put like a little felt pad on it, or I guess you could just set it on a felt pad. But if it just stayed flat with, you know, some weight on it. Let's see here. I'll know the rock when I see it, I think. Like this one that you found. This is so cool. Yeah. If this was just a little bit bigger, you know? Or way bigger, honestly. Oh, that would be a good one. Yeah. Yeah, because it's got that vein of whatever in there.
Beautiful face. Yeah, it looks like quartz in there.
Okay, I would say that's a keeper. Let's put that in the keeper pile. Okay. This one's even kind of cool because of the color. But keeper pile, yeah, that's a good place for the keeper. Actually, you know what? Let me put this. I'll put this by the bucket here just so I don't lose it amongst everything else. Oh, sorry. I thought you were dropping it. And there's a lot going on with this thing.
Yeah.
You picked this out of the hill and put it aside for what reason? Just because it was interesting?
Yeah, it's so cool.
It definitely is. It almost looks like insects had something to do with it, but right. Of course it's way too big for that.
Yeah.
Prehistoric insects, huge insects.
Veins.
Yeah. Is this a take-home sort of thing someday?
Yeah, maybe.
Dude, we should load it.
You can't. Yeah.
How much do you think that weighs?
I actually did weigh it. It's like 800 pounds.
Oh, not as heavy as I thought.
No, same. This is a relatively light mineral, I guess. Well, it's multiple minerals, but see, there's actually some green in here.
Green, that's jade or no, not jade?
No, maybe some serpentine.
Okay. So on this mine site, this claim here, there's gold and there's what?
There's jade.
There's jade, yeah.
There's jade.
You got some jade here?
We found a boulder. That one that's at Mike's place.
Okay.
We found it here.
Okay. And what's...
This is
conglomeration of... It looks like gravel's stuck together.
Yeah.
Like
so,
gum that was left on this...
I believe
left
this
on
is...
the playground.
Rocks, gravels that were crushed together basically by all the weight of the glaciers back in the day, you know, the last ice age or whichever. There was supposedly 7 miles of ice over top of where we're standing right now, and so it got compacted into a rock, and it's slowly decomposing now that it's out exposed again.
Yeah.
The water gets in and freezes and
it breaks off pieces.
Yep.
Expands. Breaks things loose.
Yeah. But how neat is that?
Yeah. By the time you guys are watching this, I'm already home.
We should have brought it. We should have brought it with us, right? Someone buy me an excavator, please. No, buy my art so that I can get an excavator. How about that? Or a forklift. I don't have need for an excavator, but I could use a forklift. Jokes. But if you want to get my art, orderfromjosh@gmail.com. And I just put all my rocks there. I didn't know that he was going to be moving that. But that's okay. Maybe I should have asked him if I could put all the rocks in the bucket. Although he did just tell me that that's how he has to get out off the hill. Or up the hill. The undercarriage has to be all worked on and maintenanced in varying spots. I don't really understand the equipment too much, but like one of the sprockets is down to nubs, and like the track is broken in places, so that'll be one of the things that we work on while we're here. That is not a very nice sound, let me tell you that. So stuff like this obviously becomes a problem because everything is rough and tough. But Ken was saying that it's walked at least 300 kilometers with this undercarriage here, so that's why it's in rough shape. So time for some maintenance whilst they're not doing any mining, or very little mining anyway.
Yeah, this sprocket right here is worn right out. There's nubs that should be much thicker and longer, and so this slips inside the track sometimes when trying to walk. That's why I pushed myself there, because it probably would have spun. I've got a sprocket for there, I've got 2 top rollers, and I've got a new tensioner that goes behind this idler here, because the spring I believe is broken because it bounces back and forth.
Okay, this looks difficult to work on.
Yeah, it's all this big equipment is not easy to work on. So
a good thing you brought me, because I work on these all the time.
yeah. This one we had to limp out of way off highway. It was like 140 kilometers off into the middle of nowhere, and it's the one that the engine had failed in it the year prior. So Dave rebuilt the engine in it.
Yeah.
And then we went out there with Dave and Mike and Stacy to put the engine in and gather the rest of the equipment and walk it out. That's when we found out that a porcupine had gotten into the engine bay, ate the fuel lines, the wiring, the radiator hoses, just everything in the engine bay was chewed on and destroyed. And I spent like 14 hours repairing the radiator, and Stacy did another 3 hours on it, and it still leaked some, so we had to rig up. We had a little water tank with us. It's not here, but anyway, we strapped a water tank to the top of the cab there. Had a garden hose running into the radiator and
To constantly feed
constantly feeding it, just a little stream. And then every time we got to a little creek, stop and fill up the tank. Yeah.
Dang. And how fast does one of these crawl along?
Top speed maybe 3 to 4 kilometers an hour.
This is crazy. There's a laborious task to get it anywhere, and I mean, let alone going 140K.
Yeah, it took us 4 days.
That should take like an hour and a half if you're driving. Like a regular car on the road.
But that road is terrible, so even with the Army trucks, we can only do that distance in about 8.5 hours. That was our fastest time.
Well, that's not
That's
4
not having
days.
any problems either.
Yeah, right.
It's just the road's so crappy that you just can't drive fast, so bounce to the roof.
Right, exactly, yeah.
If the road was this the whole way, that'd be fantastic, but up there it's deeply rutted from heavy equipment like rock trucks
Right.
hauling jade and stuff.
Yeah.
and then the rut's filled with water, so you can't see the bottom.
Right. So you don't know how, if you're going to bottom out or
Yeah, you can't see
tip or...
Right. So we were going through one of those, and Mike was pulling that trailer, but it had the mining plant on it. So that tire was on that trailer and went through an area where it was rutted and underwater, and there was a rock sticking out in the water that we couldn't see, and it pushed the tire off the rim. So you got a flat tire right there.
Dang. So you had to explode it back on?
No, we actually didn't know how to get him back on. So we had a satellite phone, so Mike called the...
AAA.
He called the tire shop where they were put on originally for us.
Yeah. Oh, it has that inner bead lock.
No, these don't. If it had a bead lock, it wouldn't have popped
Oh.
off.
Oh, right, yeah.
But the guy told us to put a ratchet strap around the center of the tire
Right.
and tighten the crap out of it.
And fill...
To squish the center of the
Yeah.
tire in, which pushes the sides of the tire out.
Right.
And grease around the wheel heavily, which
Yeah.
helps seal the air. And then you give it the air. And it worked. Got it on right away.
Oh, you did it with air? You didn't do it with, like,
No.
ether or
No,
something like that?
No, that's not my kind of thing. I don't like playing with explosive shit.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you can do it safely,
Right, yeah.
some other technique, then there's no need to use ether and propane and stuff, you know? Too many people hurt themselves. I'd probably be one of them. But yeah, this thing, man, she just fired right up, just like I shut it off. It's awesome.
But you got 2 more of these that are not running.
Yeah, but oddly enough, they were running when I left here last time with Chakota. And I come back and they're not running now.
There's other people who are on this claim. It's not my brother's claim, it's someone else's, and you never know who's going to be here, I guess, sometimes, and people just assume that they can do whatever they want with other people's equipment because it's here. And I mean, my brothers are polite and kind enough to allow people to borrow things, but it's kind of a bummer when you know, show kindness to someone and they're like, you know what, I'm done with it, so who cares now? The 5-ton army truck that we came up on at the beginning is a good example. Somebody stole the freaking batteries and the crossover cables, and who knows what else off that. The guys who are here right now, though, are actually great dudes. Get along with them and been visiting with them every evening.
They were crossing the river going that way, and they saw one up on the top of the bank on the other side. Yeah.
I seen lynx there.
Yeah, they said they saw a cougar.
I was in Tehachapi, California, at a greenhouse there. I was a customer, and I used to go there all the time. I used to go the back way up through the windmills and come up through there. And right at the very top, just when I was coming out, just getting to the windmills, there was a bobcat.
Oh yeah,
And
I've seen
Oh,
it
yeah?
in Los Angeles.
Have it?
Yeah.
Right? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
I had a bobcat go through my yard
Yeah.
near Edmonton.
Yeah. I've seen them watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're very rare.
Yeah.
Lynx are common.
I got well, maybe it was a lynx. I don't know. It was
Probably was.
Lynx are a lot bigger than bobcats.
hard to say. I got it on video on my security camera.
Did you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, we lived in Nanaimo. We lived about the middle of Nanaimo, and we had this good-sized dog, friendly as heck. This guy, the neighbor, come. That's just after we moved into that place. Neighbor down over the bank, he come walking up and he says, "What are you going to do with that wood you got cut pile there?" And I says, "It's for sale. You want it?" "You bet I want it. I'll be up for the truck." They paid me. Be up for the truck in the morning. And I says, "Good, okay." Meanwhile, our dog is just, I had to put it in the house. It just absolutely went berserk when that guy come on the property. And I says, "What the hell's going on? The dog's never acted like that before." And he says, "I know what the problem is." He said, "I'm a taxidermist, and I'm working on a cougar right now."
Oh.
And it just drove that dog just went. Never seen a cougar in his life. It just absolutely went nuts. Yeah.
The moose is pretty good, eh?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say if he's missing in the morning, I mean, he's gone home to get his gun.
They took our front step, Mr. Fly. Why weren't you keeping an eye, Mr. Fly? They're taking it away. Phil is a nice guy, lending things out all the time to people on other claims around the area. But while they're doing that, I guess I've become the camp chef. I'm not cooking for the other three guys, although I totally would because they're good dudes. Phil and I actually didn't. Jeff and the other guy, I forget what his name. This guy, I forget what their freaking names are. Just been swapping stories in the evenings.
Turned around because he heard something and the cougars were right over top of him. I was only 80 feet away from him.
Dang. And then go to bed, wake up, and usually they're gone because they're going out to, I don't know what they're doing, prospecting or what. They're gone all day, coming back in the evening. Alright. Hopefully this works. I should have turned this on. He's not leaving without me this time. I don't gotta walk.
Brakes are all frozen up. We'll unload the vacuum and grab a bunch of batteries.
Okay. So today, I think we're working on equipment because it's gonna get cold. Wow, it's already kind of cold. Today is pretty cold. All right, couple batteries. Oh yeah, and we still have to organize the tool can here because we just put everything in case it rained. Good thing we did because it did rain, like the Dickens. But today we just need, or at the moment we just need some batteries.
And some pipe wrenches.
And some pipe wrenches, okay.
Back there and a bin on about the second shelf from the bottom. Right around there.
Oh yeah. Giant ones? Okay.
One.
This one's not as big, but
That's okay.
all right. Okay. I imagine we have to take these off then. We're working on this thing to start with. This is the deuce and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hood hinges are rusted through on the cowl there.
Oh.
And somebody before us repaired it with Bondo.
Oh.
And then it broke, of course. So we have to strap the hood shut back there.
Oh, that's aluminum, hey?
No, it's steel. And it's coated with about 1,000 layers of paint.
Yeah, so no one can see it. Dude, this camo is the most obvious looking camo, I think.
I guess, I don't know.
Maybe you can't see it, like if you're blind or something. It is the most quintessential camo, though. This is what I would have drawn when I was a kid.
Right, so brake fluid.
Yeah.
Both sides. You need to look inside there and see if it's full.
Okay.
Line on the side.
Yeah.
Coolant reservoir tank. It doesn't need to be full. It just needs to have some in it.
Right.
This here is our engine oil.
Okay.
You gotta unscrew the tap and then pull it out.
Okay.
And transmission fluid is where? I forgot. It's been a while. Oh, here.
Okay. Yeah. And that's just washer fluid there in that reservoir?
Don't even know. Let's see. Yeah, I guess so.
And there's no power steering because this is not power steering.
Right. It's air assisted steering. Which
Suicide
is
steering.
the dumbest thing I ever had. I've seen, yeah.
I knew I wasn't crazy. I couldn't find the transmission dipstick. And the two that were there are both oil. One's a filler neck, one's a dipstick tube. And I crawled all under, looked in the cab, looked alongside, I don't know where it is. But it obviously has a transmission, right? It's right freaking here.
Looks like it's possibly
Like I was
on
thinking.
the right-hand side. You see that
Is it
fitting
this?
right there? Yeah, possibly.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is from in the cab. You got to lift up a little.
Okay.
I found it just kind of late. I should have crawled under this side a little more.
It's a silly location.
Yeah.
And guess what this transmission uses for oil?
Anything.
Engine oil.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, it can use anything to run.
The transmission?
No, like the engine. Right? Isn't that a thing about Deuce and a Half? You can put anything in it and it'll run?
That's kind of what they do. Yeah, I don't know about this particular engine, but this transmission, you could run trans fluid, but what it comes with from the Army is engine oil. So, yeah, we're showing way high, but of course, as we start it and
Right.
put it through the gears, it'll go down.
Normally when you're checking transmission fluid, you'd have your engine running and you shift through. But this hasn't been started in a while. So we're just making sure that there's something in there before we start it. There you go. First try. That shit is loud.
You're looking at our air gauge. Coming up a little bit.
That's brakes? Or that's everything?
It's air assist for everything.
Okay.
And also the air that we need to air up the tire on the trailer over there.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're getting this going because you need an air compressor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just want to start it anyway because it's been 2 years.
Right.
And on, I've got a problem. There we go.
Oh, nice. If you watched the earlier episodes of our little trip here, you've heard me explain that sometimes things are borrowed and such. Someone stole all the fuel out of this and then they left the cap open. Why? If you're gonna steal, just don't make it inconvenient for when we need to use the stuff again. Gosh darn it. I mean, it would be inconvenient to not have fuel when you think you got it, but it's, yeah. That's annoying. But now it's full of water. Gotta drain it out, obviously. That's a bummer.
Our nozzle for pumping fuel's gone too.
Well, it's probably been about 5 minutes. Hop back in the truck. Build up enough air pressure here, hopefully, so we don't hear that annoying sound. We need it to drive the truck, but we also need the air to air up the tire over here. Hopefully this thing is working good.
See what I mean about the air thing?
Yeah.
It's gone already.
Dang.
Yeah.
Good thing that this isn't so sketchy here.
I'll have to move the excavator a little bit because I didn't leave enough room to get by.
This series of vlogs, I don't really know how.
Show you how to do this.
Come in? Okay. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this, but this is a first time for me for a lot of this stuff,
Well,
so
you're gonna find out.
so I think I'm just going to film a lot and let's see how the edit goes. All right.
Just
Okay.
go slowly.
Down is now these do something.
Yes, now they're live.
Okay.
Just one at a time.
Okay, I'm up a little bit.
that's good.
and then over.
Now you're gonna swing, yep. You're good, you're good, you're good. Keep going. Watch the front too.
Oh, you're right.
And that's probably good there. That gives us room to back into here, so we're fine. Set the boom back down again. Okay, and pull the hydraulic engage. Yep. And now it's safe to shut it off.
Cool. That was easy.
And now you got a nice step to get out on.
Right, the track, yeah.
I like parking this way generally.
Easy peasy.
We had Dakota like operating by himself, like full on feeding the plant.
Oh, so he's better than me now.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so what's the plan here?
Move your fancy rock out of the way.
Oh yeah, I have a collection of rocks going on here that I'm gonna bring home. I guess I'll put it with the big pile over here. This is where we moved it. This series of videos will work better if you watch them all in sequence. I don't know how interesting it's gonna be for everyone, as most of you probably follow me because of my artwork and the stuff I make and such, but we'll get into some of that with some of the stuff I come and collect here. Okay.
I'm gonna back the truck into here and just air up that tire.
Oh, okay, okay. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think of these videos where I'm not directly making something or creating art. In this regard, I'm doing something that I would be doing in real life, and part of that is scavenging for some material. He's adding air to the compressor with the high idle.
Side to that tire.
Yeah, got air. I guess these videos have something to do with creating and making art and other sort of things that you see me make on this channel, such as doing the roofing, other things like that, also collecting art supplies and the rocks and stuff. So you kind of got to see some of what goes into creating a piece that's more than just the process of actually putting it together or bringing it to life, if you know what I mean. Oh, and of course my phone is dying. Ken's bringing the charger. Okay. 27%. That'll work for now, I think. While you were charging. Oh, that's a nice rock. That's a keeper too. Yeah. I guess I do occasionally do videos unrelated to strictly making art or making things, but this one is turning into let's get art supplies. But anyway, while you were charging, Ken started working. What is this thing called? A plant?
This is the mining plant, yeah.
Mining plant.
This is the generator. We'll start it up again now that we got the shaker deck motor freed up, and we'll just engage it momentarily to get it working a little bit.
Okay, you want me to check the motor?
No, because it's definitely
For sure it
gonna
works
spin
now?
this time, and we are only going to be able to spin it a little bit. This thing's going to start shaking because we don't have it stabilized.
Oh, okay.
So here we go.
He did have it started before, but it wouldn't. The motor wouldn't engage, so he took apart the motor casing thing and spun it by hand. He just had to break the bearings loose. Pretty loud.
So this is our next project here. Pour hydraulic fluid into it. And
Oh, this is the sight glass.
yeah,
This is a tank,
that's right.
more or less. Okay, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
So we got to fill it with fluid, and we can also plug it into the plant and make sure it functions again.
Okay.
And it's got a an oscillator on the bottom. There's the hydraulic motor on top.
Oh, yeah,
Tucked
okay.
Underneath it, big weight that spins around that
Okay.
shakes the whole deck like a gold pan, basically.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And do you guys eat the ramen for lunch, or?
No, we just use the ramen for collecting gold. So there's a piece of the broken housing. If you want to find some gold, you can dig these mats out and wash them. You might actually find some very, very tiny stuff in there.
Okay.
Because we haven't cleaned this since before we last used it. But we did test it at one point in time, and there wasn't enough gold in it to make it worth cleaning very often.
Oh, okay.
Because the upper section collects most of it.
Right.
But here's a piece of something that could be that pet site stuff that
Phil
I was talking about. It's right there.
Oh yeah, that kind of has a gold color to it.
Yeah. Could just be some pyrite type stuff too. I don't know.
It's definitely not gold though.
Speak of the devil, Phil is back with his hoe from another claim. Probably because he wants to get some of that pet site.
This can go in the electrical over there. Came in here to get, I think, just this thing here. This is the filter I think I need. But it was a mess, so we ended up just starting to clean up here. Ken is just talking.
Phil
He brought his hoe, so he's talking to
Phil
right now. Making some plans for the future, which is probably why we're fixing up the stuff. But we got kind of distracted and started organizing the tool can here. I'm just along for the ride. I don't really care what we do. I just don't really know where anything goes exactly, because it's a bit of a mess, but everything does, in theory at least, have a place to go. Like this goes into the electric area.
Well, I figured out where the electric stuff went, put it there, and then we moved some things around, basically everything around, and now the electric is in a different spot. But it has a spot, and I actually don't know what the final spot is necessarily, because I unfortunately got sick. For those of you who know, I got this brain pain thing, and it flared up. I got this freaking Botox look. I still don't got any wrinkles in my forehead. But some days it doesn't seem to keep it at bay. The symptomatic part of the brain pain. I call it brain pain because we still don't know what it is. Almost 2.5 years later, but dang, is it ever frustrating. So I appreciate the Botox, although I look kind of stupid without without any expression. I can't. But anyway, hopefully the tool can is looking a lot better. Now I'm here in the sleeping can, which is another C can, more like a Z can, am I right? The next day here, sick again. I got freaking vertigo. Sometimes my brain pain thing flares up. This vertigo thing I've always had my whole life, basically. And so I woke up this morning at like 8 or whatever, went to the chow shack, stumbling over there like I was like I was on a malfunctioning carny ride. I could barely walk straight. And so I was like, you know what, I can't do anything because I can't even stand.
Those are solar or what?
Yeah, so I just have to charge this thing outside every once in a while.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.